We have the opportunity to look at ourselves, and we can't make choices for other people. We can only make choices for ourselves. We have to decide what are those things that we can actually take with us on the journey. And let's assume that the oil represents something called consciousness. How conscious, how awake, how alert are we? What are the things that disrupt our world? Are we secure in who and what we are and the Christ that's within us? If we take a moment and assume that we lose all of our physical possessions tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, they're gone. What happens? It's happened in the past. We had a depression where people lost things overnight, and there were those that didn't survive that, and there were others that survived it. Maybe not well, they complained a lot, and there were others that just seemed to pick up and go on, and nothing changed. So what about us? Let's just assume that all the banks went bad, wherever our monies were tied up in savings accounts or anything else, it's all gone. You prepared to go on, or are you going to jump out the window? Does your life get materially affected? And that leads us to the question of what your life is. Is your life rich in consciousness? Have you taken the time to expand yourself mentally? We know there's a creative force out there. Have we taken the time to become acquainted with that? Or have we just taken the time to pad our bank account? Because there's a time in our lives we can't take that with us. At least no one's been able to do it yet. It doesn't leave. There's a play that we got to study a little bit earlier this year called Everyman. It goes back a long time. And one day, God decided to send his good buddy Death to every man and tell him his time was up. And every man said, whoa, wait, whoa. I'm not quite ready here. He told him to send him, it was time to do an accounting. He said, but give me a week or two. Let me put something together. Death said, no, sorry man, this is the day, this is the time. And he did give him a very short window to run around and put together his friends and buddies. And his friends and buddies didn't want any part of it. He went to those people that he enjoyed laughter and gaiety and frivolity with, and they were all happy to see him, and he said, I need a favor from you guys. And they said, sure, anything, whatever you want. Well, I have this journey I have to make. All right, let's do it. It's called Death. I have to give an accounting. They said, excuse me. We're happy on any place you want to go, but we're not going there. We'll be right here. Good luck, though. You have our best wishes. You truly, truly do. And this happened with everything and everyone that he went to, except for one small thing. Good deeds. And good deeds, it turned out, he couldn't take with because good deeds was sick and lame from neglect. He hadn't spent any time in his life doing those good things. He'd spent time accumulating, spent time having fun, spent time enjoying. And somewhere along the line he got turned over to confession, where it was good for the soul and he could free himself from this awful thing that he had gone through. And so he confessed, and it made him feel a little better, but couldn't take that with either. He still had to find a way to get good deeds up and running, on its feet, so to speak. And the end result is after he gained a little knowledge, it was able to be bolstered a little bit, enough so it could walk. So he had a little bit to take with him. But the moral was the only thing that he could take with was good deeds. Now, that's not necessarily the truth, but, you know, if we had to make a transition here today, what can you take with? See? And good deeds have to do with love and kindness and those things that you bring forth that are a product of your life. And there was a class that my son took a while back, and the professor was talking about a gentleman that was very, very wealthy in life. And he had gone through life and he had accumulated a great deal. And then all of a sudden, somewhere, he got sick. And the doctors gave him a short time to live. He didn't care much about his fellow man or who he ran over to get to the top. And this is a very famous individual. But as soon as he found out he might die, he started setting up charities and started setting up all kinds of things. Because it suddenly dawned upon him, wait a minute, maybe there's some truth in this idea, and I know I can't take this thing with me. I know I can't take all this stuff that I've accumulated. So he started trying to do something, and it's the professor's opinion the only reason that he started doing this and being so kind and generous was because he was facing death real fast, and he got religion real quick. Now, whether that helped him in the end, I don't know. But we're a lot like that. This world that we live in, people spend their lives accumulating all the time. And they don't spend their lives seriously working on things that are necessary for themselves. How many people go through high school? It's the vast, vast majority that stop educating themselves. They go to high school, get a high school diploma, get a job, spend their lives in front of the television from that point forward, and doing their jobs and waiting for retirement, raising their families. But how do they stretch their consciousness? How do they increase in those intangibles like, this is my commandment that I give thee, love one another? How do they tackle that? How do they deal with wisdom and knowledge? How do they deal with a continued expanded consciousness? There's another group that goes to college. When they get out, it's their job in the high-pressure world that consumes them. I know of an individual right now that's reached their 50s, and they have something else they want to achieve in their life. And so they're attempting to switch their profession and move into something else. But they've cut everyone out of their lives. Their quest for this new profession that's going to give them more dollars or an easier lifestyle has basically eliminated all their friends. It's quite a choice to make. So where is that love and kindness going to? It's definitely devoted into another means of making money. And of course the question becomes, will that be fulfilling in the end? Is that the profession of choice that's now going to make everything worthwhile? And we all face this. And then we have college people that go on for masters and doctorate, and some actually devote their lives to helping other people. They teach and try to bring others along. And others step out and do scientific endeavors and achievement that help mankind, and others just salt away money. That's all they do for that day when they can retire or when something else happens. And what do they do along the way for all of that? Don't know. How do they help their consciousness? The only thing in the end that we have is who and what we've become.